Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've listened with great interest today, and here's what I hear you saying. The four folks to my left, I hear you saying that digital assets are different. Digital assets hold great promise. Digital assets need special rules. I agree with that. The obvious question is, what should those rules be, and to what extent should we allow you to draft them? I've also heard some of you say that digital assets represent the next generation of the internet. Well, we let the current generation of the internet draft their own rules, and frankly, it looks like what we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample. Congress can't even agree on basic legislation dealing with privacy on the internet. How the hell are we going to tackle this?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm your independent political analyst, and this is where we break down the biggest political flashpoints with clarity, context, and a nonpartisan lens. No spin, just facts, critical analysis, and honest insight. Now today, we're diving into one of the more fiery and frankly dysfunctional moments from a recent congressional hearing on digital asset regulation. Yes, I'm talking about that hearing where Senator John Kennedy, former ethics lawyer Richard Painter, and Professor Timothy Massad got into a mix of serious policy debate and schoolyard name-calling. Let's unpack what happened, what was said, and what it means for the future of crypto regulation in the U.S.
But I hear what you're saying. I hear Mr. Painter, as usual, if you follow him on social media, you know, all politicians are crooks. Very helpful. I want to direct most of my questions to Professor Massad. Is that how you say your name?
Massad.
Mr. Massad. I'm really worried we're going to get this wrong. We don't know, we in Congress and our staffs don't know as much as the professionals in digital assets know. And I don't see how we can possibly catch up. Tell me more about your idea of having the SEC. Well, first, I don't want to run out of time here, but why is the digital assets industry so scared of being regulated by the SEC?
Well, I think we need to step back, Senator.
Briefly, please.
They don't want everything treated as a security because they don't want that entire framework to apply. But that's also because the SEC did fail to try to customize its rules to adapt for this technology, and it should do that. And you've got leadership at the agencies now who are working on those things.
You're suggesting that we turn to two of our agencies, one of which is the SEC, and say, you have expertise. Before we take a crack at a bill, you come up with a bill, with rules, with regulations. Tell us how to do this. Because I hear you saying in some cases digital assets are commodities. In some cases, they're securities.
Congress needs to fill the gap, which is if it's not a security, who's going to create a regulatory framework for it? So you do need to fill that. But these questions about exactly which is when is it a security, when is it not a security, how do we customize the rules, what should we do about DeFi, a lot of that should really be left to the agencies. You could establish some principles, but I wouldn't write detailed rules.
Have you looked, Professor, at Congressman Hill's legislation?
I have in detail.
What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of problems. I think it's 236 pages of regulatory arbitrage opportunities for creative lawyers, and I used to be one that did that kind of stuff.
Made a lot of money, did you?
I did, but...
Mr. Painter, do you think Senator Gillibrand is a crook?
No, and I do not think all politicians are crooks. And
Why did you call her a crook?
I did not call her a crook. Now, Ms. Senator, you need to
here's
focus
what
on
I'm
this
looking
bill.
right now.
You're doing this again. You did it the last
published a
hearing.
tweet that
You
said
need to
Senator
read the
Gillibrand's
bill.
role in stablecoin regulation, $217,000 in crypto donations. You tweeted that.
Yes, I
And
do.
then you said, the crypto industry is buying Congress and the White House. This won't end well. Why do you think the crypto industry is buying Senator Gillibrand?
I said, look at the campaign contributions from this industry.
Do you think they've bought her?
I said, look at the campaign
You said
contributions.
they bought her. Do you think they bought her?
Senator, you need to focus on this bill instead of trying to distort my Twitter.
You
Last
called
time,
one of my
you were
colleagues a
quoting
crook,
what a Marxist in
and-
Chicago said
And
about
what
me.
evidence do you
make
have
no
that she's a
sense.
crook?
I said there is massive amount of campaign contributions coming into this Congress from the crypto
Do
industry.
you want to apologize
You need,
to Senator Gillibrand?
I do not want you to have to apologize for passing
Do
legislation
you want to
that
apologize
destroys
to
our
Senator
economy.
Gillibrand for calling her
You
a
are
crook?
distorting what I said, just like you did in the last hearing. You're wasting everybody's time, Senator.
You're a whack job.
Senator,
You are a
wasting.
blatantly
Well, I think we are.
next
I
level
think we.
whack job.
I think we
Is
are.
this
out of
middle
time.
school, Senator?
Senators and witness. Thank you both.
I
for
think
your
you should apologize, Senator
I think,
Gillibrand.
Senator, you're wasting our time. This is not middle school.
Thank you for your participation. I will say that Senator Smith is next. The floor is yours.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So, not so long ago,
To start, Senator Kennedy opened by recognizing something important. That digital assets are different. They do hold promise, and yes, they need tailored rules. This is something that most experts in the crypto space agree on. Where Kennedy rightly raised concern is on who exactly should be writing those rules. And to be honest, that's a valid concern. Congress, as Kennedy bluntly put it, still hasn't figured out basic internet privacy laws, and yet now it's expected to regulate the next generation of the internet, digital assets. As he colorfully put it, and I quote, "What we got as a result looks like somebody knocked over a urine sample. Crude? Yes, but the point is clear. The current digital ecosystem is messy, and Kennedy's worried that Congress may make it worse, not better." Kennedy then directed a lot of his questioning toward Professor Massad, a former regulator and legal scholar. Now this is where the discussion actually got constructive. Massad made a key point. The industry resists SEC regulation not just because of overreach, but because the SEC has failed to modernize its rules. That's a really important nuance. It's not simply about avoiding oversight, it's about being forced into a decades-old regulatory box that doesn't fit modern blockchain technologies. Massad advocated for something more flexible. Let the agencies like the SEC and CFTC draft initial frameworks, while Congress sets the broader principles. That sounds reasonable. Let the technical experts lead, but ensure Congress defines the values and limits. Honestly, that's a model that's worked before in financial regulation. It could work again if there's political will. Kennedy also asked about a bill introduced by Congressman French, 236 pages long. Massad didn't hold back. He called it full of regulatory arbitrage opportunities, saying it would be a dream for creative lawyers like he once was. Here again, the concern is real. Complex bills often leave too many loopholes, especially when written in technical fields where Congress lacks subject matter expertise. Massad's critique isn't just political, it's structural. But then, the hearing took a nosedive. Things got heated, very heated, when Kennedy turned to Richard Painter and confronted him about a tweet implying that Senator Kirsten Gillibrand was bought by the crypto industry after receiving over $200,000 in donations. Now let's pause here. Painter is known for being blunt. He's made sweeping claims on social media about crypto interests influencing both Congress and the White House. And while he didn't directly call Senator Gillibrand a crook, his wording was vague enough to spark that interpretation. Kennedy seized on that. What followed was less of a policy discussion and more of a personal brawl with both men accusing each other of distorting facts, wasting time, and in Kennedy's words, behaving like they were in middle school. Yes, Kennedy called Painter a whack job on the Senate record. Let that sink in. So, what do we make of all this? Let me offer a few nonpartisan takeaways. 1. Crypto regulation is urgently needed, but Congress is behind the curve and largely unprepared to write detailed policy without deferring to expert agencies. 2. The SEC and CFTC need clearer direction, but also the freedom to tailor rules specifically for digital assets rather than relying on legacy frameworks. 3. There is deep mistrust between lawmakers, the crypto industry, and even the regulators themselves. That's not sustainable if the goal is effective oversight. For campaign finance concerns are valid, but they need to be addressed with evidence and ethics reforms, not Twitter fights during Senate hearings. 5. The tone of our political debate matters. This hearing, unfortunately, devolved into personal attacks and juvenile name-calling that undermines public trust in the process and legitimacy of the regulation being proposed. Look, I don't take sides in crypto versus Congress. I'm here to analyze what's happening and why it matters. The truth is, digital assets are here to stay. The question is whether our institutions can grow mature enough to regulate them responsibly without the drama, without the tribalism, and without making the same mistakes we made with Web 1.0 and 2.0. This hearing was messy, but it was also revealing. And hopefully, if we zoom out from the insults and focus on the substance, we can have a smarter, more focused conversation going forward. Thanks for watching. If you found this analysis helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more political breakdowns without the spin, and let me know in the comments, do you think the SEC should be in charge of crypto regulation, or is it time for a whole new framework entirely? Until next time, stay informed, stay thoughtful, and stay engaged.